Welcome to Beyond the Battlefield. I'm excited to have my senior here, Mr. Christian Davis.
Yes.
And Miss Jenna Faith.
Yes.
But she's not a senior anymore. She graduated last year.
Yes. I was supposed to be a senior though, so.
So
It
what was
kinda
it like?
counts.
If you were to graduate this year, what were you thinking? Thinking, well, if I had just finished school, like most people do, what were you thinking? Did that cross your mind?
Well, I definitely did regret it whenever I did it because I wanted to graduate with my friends. But looking back now, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe it was a good idea.
So how many hours did you take to graduate last year?
Last year I took 10 classes and I had to make up 172 hours from traveling so much with my music. So to graduate.
Can you imagine that, Christian?
Yeah.
You can?
Oh no, I can't. No.
So, Christian, you graduated this year at Living Water Christian School.
Yes.
And what were your thoughts when we came into March and all of a sudden we get out of spring break and we hear, hey, we're not going back to school? What crossed your mind?
I was kind of happy at first, cause like no more school, like woo, yeah, no homework for like a good solid like 3 more weeks. But then like when I said we're going back to school, like we're like doing school at home, it was kind of like not good, cause like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready for it. But like I had people help me around and like kept me motivated. So like
What was your biggest struggle with that?
my mindset.
Your mindset? Well, that's good. Were there temptations?
Yes, there's a lot. So my bed, like
Your bed?
Yeah, I was tired a lot. And then the food, like oh yeah, not yet. I didn't eat a lot when I was at home all the time. It was mostly my video games.
No.
Yes.
I wouldn't have pictured you doing video games all the time.
No, it was. That was like the number one thing.
So when we look at that, it's hard to structure our lives on our own, isn't
Yes. A lot.
it? And that's why we really need God, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how does God help you structure your life?
I try my best, and I do this usually every night, but I downloaded the Bible app, the U version, and I have plans that I do every night, and I feel like it really helps. I've done it mostly ever since my mom got out of the hospital, and it's like really helped. I feel like when I see a bigger difference whenever I dedicate my life to God more, then He'll come and work in mine most.
So we have to do our part. Don't we?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
He's already done His part.
Yes, exactly.
So, as of course, I've stayed in contact with you. We followed you. We prayed for you guys faithfully.
Yes.
And so, when here we are, we stop. We hear the COVID thing comes along.
Mm-hmm.
You were getting ready to. Weren't you cutting a CD?
Yes, I was about to release my album in like literally 3 weeks. Yeah.
And what were your thoughts when that happened?
I was very frustrated because it all happened one at a time. Like my concerts got canceled, then award shows got canceled, then my CD release party got canceled, and like it was just all happening so fast, and it was frustrating. It was definitely frustrating.
I can't imagine. And I was thinking, we right here at this very place, Gallery Furniture here off of Grand Parkway in Richmond, Texas, we're having our Heroes Hope Gala.
Yes.
And we're going to be singing there too.
Yes.
And that was canceled.
And I was so excited for it.
And we're excited. We're still going to make
Yes,
that happen.
we're still
just
gonna have
letting
it.
God
Yes.
lead that.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things where our lives were just put on hold, weren't they?
Yeah.
And when we come back and we stop and think, here all this stuff was canceled, and this is another story for later about how God worked.
Mm-hmm.
But even with your mom, just that was a shock.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
I mean, we always see things happening or to other people, but when it hits home.
Yes, you hear all the stories on the news and stuff, and you don't really know what it feels like until it hits home, pretty much. Yeah.
I know watching that video where you were there in the hospital and your mom was being released.
Yes.
I just cried. And I'm trying to keep from crying now. Because we constantly prayed and that God just move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can't imagine having to, Christian, I want you to listen to this. While her mom was in the hospital, she couldn't go in the hospital to see her mom.
Nor talked to her
nor
because she was
talk
on
to
the
her.
ventilator.
She was on the ventilator.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So she was totally dependent on hearing from a nurse.
Yeah, definitely. We were pretty much at the nurses and the doctor's mercy. But you know, let me tell you. So I was the only one out of our whole family that like wasn't freaking out about everything. And I know that sounds semi-weird. Like your mom's in the hospital, she's on the ventilator, she has a 20% chance to live, and you're not freaking out. And I wasn't. Like I told my mom when she got out of the hospital, I was like, I knew you were gonna come home. I was like, so I don't know why everybody else was going crazy. So, and everybody was freaking out over me. I was like, why are y'all freaking out over me? Y'all are the ones freaking out. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like I just felt God's presence throughout it all. And
So it all goes back to what we talked about at the first of this conversation.
yeah,
Is spending time with God.
yes,
And being the more time we spend with Him, the more we get to know Him,
yes,
and the more dependent we become upon Him.
yes,
And that's crucial, especially with what we're walking through now.
exactly. The more you read His Word, the more you can put it into your own lifestyle, and it just affects it amazingly.
Right. So, Christian,
Yes, sir.
Your turn.
your turn, man. Your turn.
Yes.
What was it like? Let's talk a little bit about Living Water Christian School. You know, that's our school.
Oh yeah, what you want to know? I got you. Been there for about 7 years. I got you.
7 years.
I know the place from front and back on my hand, back of my hand.
Let me see.
Well, it's not
There's
actually
no
there.
map
Yeah,
on
but there's
there,
no
man.
map, but it's all in my hand.
Okay, it's in your head. Okay. So you went from, what was the first mascot you guys were when you first went there?
The Challengers.
The Challengers.
Yes, sir. We were rocking.
You were a rocket.
Yes,
And
sir.
you know what? We just had a rocket go into space.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
time
we
in
did.
years.
Yeah.
So, the Challengers, and then this year last year we became the what?
Actually, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. That's right. When I came, we
It
were
was the Dolphins.
the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And we have our mascot Finney. And let me tell you something. With Christian inside of Finney, that dolphin got moved. You kept the crowd roaring, man.
I tried.
You did. You were successful. So, with this year, what stood out before Corona hit? What stood out the most about your senior year?
It was being with my friends and like having like the chance to like meet like more people like Micah, your son, and like getting like to hang around with the little kids and like being a big brother to them basically.
Right.
It was kind of fun.
You know, one thing that will always stand out with me, with you, is integrity. And I'm going to tell you why, and you'll remember this. I'll never forget you dribbling down the basketball court, and then you traveled.
Oh, I
And
did.
then you started doing this.
I did. I felt
and
bad.
the referee didn't even see it. And you pick up the ball, and the referee goes, "What are you doing?" You go, "I traveled."
I did. I didn't want to lie.
What are you saying? You're not lying if you're not saying anything.
So that's what sticks out to me was the integrity and the character. So you were always quite the character, but you were a character with integrity, and that sticks in my mind because you don't see a lot of people doing the right thing, even though the referee didn't see you. You did the right thing, and that's honoring God.
Yes.
So that will always stick in my mind about you, and the dolphin.
Oh,
I mean, you cracked me up, man.
I wish I could do a flip, but I couldn't.
That's all right, man. You might have hit your fins.
Oh yeah.
So, now we come into COVID, and then you're telling me that you were talking about how it got tough because the temptations around you.
Yes.
Did it make you miss the classroom?
Yes, it did a lot. It really did. I missed like the one-on-one with my teachers because like me having the one-on-one kind of like made me like not dependent, but like kind of like dependent on my teachers because like they helped me like understand the things they were teaching and like it was kind of good for me.
Right. So you got to give a shout out to your teachers. Who are your teachers?
So my history teacher was Miss Rickelson. She taught me economics and government. Like that was really important because of the time we were going through. And then my Bible teacher is Mr. Samuel. He was his first year teaching here. And like he was a really blessing. And also he has a daughter now. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
And then my health teacher is Miss Vasquez. She like really helped me through all of it mostly. Like she's like the really one besides God and my parents, she's like really up there. Like she helped a lot. And then we have my art teacher, Miss Simpson. I'm not really good at art, but like she believed in me all the way, and like I think of that.
Well, I think that's huge that your teachers believe in you. because then you start to believe in yourself.
Yes, sir.
You know, the amazing thing is God believes in us.
Yeah.
He believed in us enough that he gave his only son. That whatever this world threw at us, through him we can overcome it.
Yes, sir.
Whether it be corona, whether it be illness, you know, which is corona too, or what's going on in our country now. We have an opportunity now to set an example, don't we?
Yes, sir, we do.
And like we were talking about earlier, the key thing is that we see right now is we've got to be able to build relationships. I think I really believe relationships change everything.
Yes, sir.
When you know, if I was teaching you, you were lucky and blessed that I didn't teach you. So anyway.
Don't jinx yourself.
Anyway, if I was teaching you and I came in the classroom and I was always negative and I didn't look for the best in you or anything like that, you wouldn't want to hear anything I had to say, would you?
Oh, no. I probably wouldn't like the subject either.
That's probably that'd be true.
Yeah.
But when you know somebody has your best interest at heart, it changes everything.
Yes, it does. Changes a lot.
So, you know, coming back to Jenna, before all of this, there was something about Jeremy Camp, I remember.
Yes.
Well, what happened there? Explain.
Oh
share
my
with them what you got
goodness.
to do there.
That was so crazy. I entered into a contest for iHeartRadio, and there was like so many entries, so many good entries, and I found out like a week later that I was in the top 10 finalists, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's just crazy enough. And then I saw that Jeremy Camp liked my video, and I was freaking out over that. And then it wasn't but 2 hours later, I found out I was the grand prize winner. And so 3 days later, they flew me out to LA. Oh, no, like 2 days later, they sent out a film crew to come film me. And then I flew out to LA the next day. And I flew in, and then the next day, that night I went to the movie premiere for I Still Believe, and I got to meet Shania Twain and KJ Apa and Jeremy Camp and Gary Sinise and all of them. They were all so amazing. And then I sang at the after party, so that was super scary.
You were nervous though, weren't you?
Oh no, I was so
I didn't
nervous.
think
I
so.
told Jeremy, I said, if I throw up, just like move out of the way, and then I'll keep singing. But it was just so scary because like KJ was standing right there, and Jeremy, and then Shania, and then there was Gary, and they were all staring at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, can y'all like turn around or something? And it was just so scary. And but it was awesome. And then Cameron Arnett, we became really good friends, and it's just they're so
precious.
awesome. They're so awesome.
You know, I remember the first time that you came on my radio show, and when we were talking, something bad, just heart-wrenching happened to both of us. We both lost our oldest brothers, and Duel, and then my brother Jerry. And
Yeah.
that connection, and you know, it was hard. It was really hard, but as I've watched you and I've seen how God has just been working through you to just share a little bit about that, how God brought the song and about
Yeah.
your brother. I want you to share about your brother.
Me and my brother, we were so very close. We were 10 years apart, and man, I tell people this all the time. I don't even remember one time that we've ever had an argument. We were like best friends, and we had things that we would take to the grave. And I don't know, it really affected me when he passed because it was sudden. It was a car accident, so it's not like he had cancer and I got to say my goodbyes or anything.
Right.
And so when it happened, I honestly don't remember everything that happened the day that it happened because it just all seems like a blur. And I just remember laying in my bed for 3 weeks. I wouldn't get up or anything. I had no motivation to do anything. But 4 weeks before Duel passed, I went into a co-write in Nashville. And I wrote a song called I'm Gonna Miss Me. I went into the co-write to write a wedding song for him and his fiance because they wanted me to sing for their first dance. And so within 10 minutes, I came out of the co-write with a song that went in a completely different direction, and it was about him passing away. And I thought it was a beautiful song, but I told myself I do not need this song, so I'm going to give it to somebody else that needs it. And little did I know 4 weeks later that it would be my song and that I would need it. And so I just released it this past March 2nd, on my brother's 1-year anniversary of his passing. And it's been getting such good feedback, and I'm so glad that so many people are touched by it. It's on HLE radio at #1 for 7 weeks straight.
Awesome.
That was so crazy. But yeah, I'm just so blessed. And then I found out that I was going to LA on March 2nd. So the day that the song was released, and then all that happened, because honestly, I just woke up that morning and I said, I feel like it's gonna be a repeat. I'm gonna be in bed for 3 weeks. It's just another reminder that Duel is not here. And
Right.
Then when I got that news, they didn't give me enough time to lay in my bed and cry about it. And I had to get up and go get my hair done and my makeup, and I didn't have time.
But you see God's hand in that.
Yes, exactly.
So, Christian, what do you think about that? How God worked that out?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He could turn it from bad things to good things.
That's right.
good.
That's
Yeah.
right. He works all things out for good for those who love Him or are called according to His purpose.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing, isn't it? Even what we're going through now.
Yeah, exactly.
I always think of the story of Esther. There's times in our life to where when we look back and we, it's the book of Esther doesn't even mention God once. But when you look back, you see His hand
In
involved
everything.
in every bit of it. And that's what's happening now. We're going to look back later and see God's hand. I think of with the horrific thing that happened to Mr. George Floyd. I think of the riots and things like that going on right now. I really believe that there's an underlying revival that God's bringing about.
Yes.
I really do. And sometimes He has to shake us up to revive us. It's
Yeah.
kind of like when you're sleeping. Your mom or your dad's never come up there and kind of, hey guys, are you awake?
Yeah.
Never happened to you, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, okay. So it's the same thing. God has to do that to us in a different way.
Yeah.
And you guys are learning at a young age to see God, how He works, how He allows things to happen to glorify Himself, but to also ultimately bring healing.
Yeah, definitely.
Healing doesn't always come the way we think, does it?
No. No.
It's hurtful sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes it's like a wound. Sometimes we'll cover up a wound that has never healed, and it's really deep, and the infection's inside that you can't see.
Yeah.
And it has to be reopened to deal with it.
Yep.
And that's where sometimes I say, God, why are you doing this? And then I have to stop and say, it's not my place to ask why.
Yes.
I would even ask why my son won't even come over here and sit and film with me. But that's not my place to stop and ask why. But as much as I'd love for him. One day.
One day.
He's got an amazing story.
Yes, he does.
And he's an amazing young guy.
Indeed.
He takes after his mama.
And it's fun.
And he heard that too.
He's like, yes, I did.
So, anyway, it's so much fun to hear you guys talk. And if I were to ask you, Christian, what can we do? What can you do to impact this world for God and just let His light shine through you? What has God been showing you?
Well, showing me is that, to be honest, I haven't been for me, I haven't been really one with God lately, because all this stuff's been going on, and me with school, and I've been trying to go back, but I've been with all the temptation, been going back and forth, one foot in, one foot out, but I've been trying to go back, and I need to go back because I feel like I'm fading away from God, even though He's right here next to me, probably right there. So, it just feels like I'm going away, but I need to come back. So
and you know that.
Yeah.
You realize it. That's the crucial part, is when we can come to realize that, hey, I've stepped out of that boundary that He's given me to protect me.
Yeah.
And I have an opportunity to go back. And I think that's what He's given our country right now, Christian.
Yes, sir.
We've stepped out of bounds. And He's saying, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity to come back to me.
Yes, sir.
So, Jenna, through music and through ministry, what do you feel God's leading you to do as you go forward?
Man, I I feel like this relates to the question as where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I always tell them I have no idea, because God is taking me to so many different levels that if you would ask me 5 years ago if I would be here and I'd be going to LA, I would tell you you're crazy. But I tell everybody,
And my son would agree with you.
but I tell everybody the same exact answer is I'm just going with the flow, and I'm going where God leads me, and where He puts His footprints, that's where I'm going to walk.
Kind of like Jesus take the wheel.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly how it is. And I feel like I set up plans for my life. Like next year, I have a plan to go to college in New York City, but that could totally change. And if it changes, then all right. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, I say the same answer to everyone. I'm going with the flow and where God leads me. And I just hope to impact lives positively.
And what we see too is, with what happened to my brother, it wasn't, we didn't know it was coming. What happened to Duel,
Yeah.
we didn't know that, you didn't know that was coming, and that life can end so quick.
Yeah.
So what is the ultimate thing, knowing that life could end so quick? What is the main thing that you would share with the audience out there listening, Christian?
I would say cherish every moment you have, because you never know what's going to be your last.
That's a good point. And what would you share?
I would say live life to the fullest, and just, even if you can't say that you're a firm believer in Christ, just show it through you.
And what I would say is both of you are right. There's neither one, both are so true. What I would say is remember that on the other side of this life, we're stepping into eternity somewhere.
Yep.
So yes, I need to live my life to the fullest. Yes, I need to live a life to where even if I don't speak words, people see Christ through my actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I haven't got this down pat. Like Micah says, 10 more years, I'll be a senior, just like you.
Yeah, exactly like him.
So the thing is we all have something to work on, don't we?
Yes, sir.
We all notice that when we get free time, that we all want free time, but sometimes in that free time we don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Because there's still work to be done, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
You still had to work in that free time and figure out, hey, I've got to figure out some kind of structure here to get me through the rest of this year so I can graduate.
Yes, sir.
And the same with you and music, and we never know what life's going to throw at us.
No.
But the key thing we do know is that it never catches God off guard.
That is very true.
So if we could tell our country today, it'd be, hey guys, God is showing us that we have boundaries to protect us.
Yes.
And we stay within those boundaries, He's going to protect us. And He loves us. That's why He gives us boundaries.
Yes, sir.
And that's why He gives us teachers. That's why He gives us parents. That's why He gives us mentors to be able to move forward even in the hard times and know that when we put our faith in God, it's going to be okay.
Yes, sir.
You got to graduate.
Yes, sir, I do.
So,
Yes.
and you're going to get to tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm going to ask you, I've already asked you already, but I would love you, for you to sing. I don't know what song you want to sing, but I know which one I would love to hear.
I can sing a chorus of any song you'd like.
Well, how about your newest one?
My newest one?
This one is for her brother Duel.
Okay. Well, my newest song, I'm Gonna Miss Me. I'm just gonna sing like the chorus of it.
Okay, that's fine.
This was written in 7 minutes, 4 weeks before Duel passed. So this is, I'm gonna miss me. A part of me will always be hanging on. I'm gonna miss me. I'm gonna miss me. Oh, when you're gone.
I can't imagine being there when God revealed to you that was your song.
Oh my gosh, I just remember it wasn't until the second or third day after Duel passed that I was like, I wrote I'm Gonna Miss Me. And I remember sitting at the dining room table, and it was me, my mom, my aunt, both of my aunts were there, and we sat there, and me and my mom said, like, at the same time, "I'm gonna miss me." And they were like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I wrote a song about Duel dying." And we just sat there and we just cried, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's our song." And I just remember the day that I wrote it, we were in the room and we asked Diane, the lady that's the CEO of my record label, to come in and listen to it. And she was just crying, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this song is gonna touch people." And when I heard those words come out of her mouth, I was just like, I just can't believe how much. I remember releasing this song, and I have gotten nothing but positive feedback from this song, and it's just touching my heart how much it's affecting others.
Hand to God.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I want you to share with people how they can get I'm Gonna Miss Me.
Yeah, so I'm Gonna Miss Me is on all digital streaming platforms like iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, all that good stuff. And you can also get it in your hands at jennafaithmusic.org.
jennafaithmusic.org. So, Christian,
Yes, sir.
you got to graduate.
Yes.
She has an amazing song that just, and then there's just me.
Oh my gosh.
I get to share. You know what the amazing part about this is?
What's the name?
Is I have you two here with me. Because I see two amazing people. That
Three.
Have, three? Yeah. I got my son over there.
You can't forget yourself too.
Well, it's not about me. And I think that's a key point that I've learned in life, that this life isn't about me.
Yeah.
It's about how can we encourage and inspire others to overcome. And that's what we would like to do with our country today.
Yes.
And what's going on is inspire them and encourage them that we can overcome.
Yeah.
Through the love of Christ, we can do all things.
Yes, sir.
Philippians 4:13 is, I can do all things through Christ
Who strengthens?
who strengthens me.
Yes.
And so can you. So, thank you for joining me here at Gallery Furniture
Yes. Thank you for
on
having
Grand
me.
Parkway.
Yes, sir.
And thank you, Mattress Mac, for allowing us to film here. An amazing guy that does great things in his community.
Yes, sir.
Because he realizes it's not about him. It's about how can we inspire others to
Absolutely.
overcome. And that's what Beyond the Battlefield's about.
Yes.
So, Jenna, it's been an honor having
Thank
you here.
you.
Christian, it's been an honor having you here.
Nice being here, Mr. Brown.
We'll have to do it again sometime with your dad.
Anytime.
Anytime we can do it. And get Sarah too. He's got a sister that I did teach Sarah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, she was such a blessing. She kept me on my toes. But she's an amazing young lady.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, she is.
You got a special sister.
Yes, I do. I wouldn't request her anything else for anybody else. I love her. way too
I
much.
know you do, and she loves her brother.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for joining us on Beyond the Battlefield. Guys, check out curtisbrown.org, the Curtis Brown Foundation, where we help veterans who are struggling with whether it be health issues, addiction, or just anything we can help them with. Order the book God is Bigger. Go to curtisbrown.org. Have a blessed day, and know that we love you, but more than anything, Jesus loves you. Bye-bye.